Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
The Porcupine with Adam Nutter.
Yo, what is up, brother and sister bears? Welcome to another episode of The Porcupine. I'm Adam Nutter. What's going on? How are you? Thanks for joining me. Let's again. You guys know what's up. I gotta fucking whore myself out. Fuck you, David Brady. I was on your show. Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of my name. I'll fight you. How dare you? Fucking damn it. Hey, you do like to drop the intro? Cool. Buy a shirt, which is I'm gonna plug right now. Everybody go buy a shirt. Go buy a shirt. Perfect timing, David, to bring that up. Everyone, go buy a shirt from your boy. Where is it? I'm going to find it. There it is. Go buy a Porcupine shirt, guys. Droptent.com/store. Get the white series. Get the black series. Get your fucking Disobey Your Local Nutter shirt that the very own Mark Bazzacco was sporting on Kyle's podcast. In Liberty and Strength. Top Lobster artwork especially. Yes, droptent.com/store. Follow me at Nutter on everything, please, if you do not mind. And of course, just for stand-up coming up live this Saturday, we have Robbie Bernstein coming, headlining the Pop-In right outside of Philly, Chalfont, Pennsylvania. 2 shows, 7 and 9:30. Tickets are selling. There's only a handful left, so get them. Droptent.com/events for those tickets. Again, Robbie Bernstein headlining both shows, The Fire, King of Sandwiches himself. Mr. Bernstein coming out. We also have other great comics on that show. Sarah Bell and Jay Simpson, who are very funny. Blaise Gegeckas is hosting. And I'm not even going to do comedy. Honestly, I think I'm just going to take a break. So you guys figure it out. It'll be a good show. But I am going to do comedy at The Stand, New York City, March 22nd, 7 p.m. show. Coming out to that if you guys are in New York. And the big one, again, I want to plug, headlining The Shell up in New Hampshire, April 30th. Coming out to that shit. It's going to be a good fucking time. All tickets, droptent.com/events. All right. So Jacob's running late because he's a fucking loser. But joining me today to go over this, the LPPA convention weekend pretty much, and just share our thoughts and takeaways from it. You go him, you know him, you love him from In Liberty and Health, my boy, Kyle Makovich. I can't say anything today.
Matovcik, you're good. You're good, man.
Jesus Christ. I've been talking for so long now and so many hours in a row. My brain's just like fucking fried.
Oh, yeah, dude. I just did my own solo podcast. I got a poll up to see whether or not people want to hear about green energy or social conservatism. You know,
yeah,
both
I voted
topics.
on that. I said social conservatism just for my 2 cents.
Okay. Yeah, well, I've had the green energy one recorded for quite a while, so I figured, it's a little bit relevant to what's going on now.
Jacob is late because Jacob is trash. So don't forget that. Also, my buddy, my opener, Blaise Gegeckas, is going to be popping in at some point because he's not a libertarian. Although, as you know, you met him, he does lean a lot our way, but he isn't technically libertarian. So I wanted like an outsider's thought of like a convention weekend. Like, what did you think of that fucking shit show? So he's going to pop in a little bit. We are waiting for Jacob. Apparently, yes, I am the socially conservative Adam Nutter. Thank you, Constantine. So, Kyle, your takeaway from the weekend. What do you think?
I've never seen so much reading and rage quitting. I'm pretty sure if we could concentrate all the screaming and crying that I saw in the hotel lobby, we'd probably be able to fill up a hot air balloon and throw some people out of it. Now, I'm not advocating for that, but no, it was really, really cool. We got to hang out with a lot of cool people. I met a lot of people that I haven't got to meet yet. And I did lots of shots with a lot of people. I figured out I should not say that, or ask who I forgot to buy shots for or who I bought shots for, because there's going to be a lot of people asking for that.
Mistake. You were the whiskey guy that weekend. Yeah. You were the whiskey shot guy. You were that guy. Yeah, and every time I smelt you, I was like, disgusting.
Yeah, that's kind of the shtick. I just had to make sure it was known, but I'm kind of thankful. My problem is when I start drinking is that I don't pace myself. And there's like a line where you're like, okay, I feel good. I had a few drinks. And then like it's a complete and total shit show. I normally sprint past that line and go straight to shit show, but managed to keep my cool. But yeah, Friday night was really, really cool.
See? Kyle tells me a job.
Yeah, well, there's always next year, if you're around Pittsburgh anytime and come to a
right.
Common
He's like,
Crown
actually, I
show.
am. He's like, fuck, I should stop talking.
But yeah, if you come to a Common Crown show and I don't know, say in Liberty and Health or something like that, I'll buy you a shot. So just for everybody out there. So Friday night was really cool. My brother and I got there and we gave Karen Ann Harless a ride to and from the airport. So we kind of got to get her thoughts on some of the stuff, which I'll get into when we kind of get there. You started with stand-up, and I told you this in the Inner Circle chat, and I'll tell it to everyone on the show here. I don't want to say low expectations, but I'm like, okay, he's going to be good, right? And then you performed, and I'm like, okay, you fucking kicked ass.
Thanks,
it was
man.
awesome. And I love Tom Wood's opener. He said, so out of that last hour set, what I got from that was that he has a penis.
Also, not an hour set. I actually cut time. I was supposed to do a half hour. I did 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I had to cut. I told us on Cult of Us, but everything was running late because it's LPPA convention, right? So everything was running late.
Obviously,
the other comedy show was running late from before that. The one that I did with Neil and Blaise, right? So that was running late. So I had to run from there around to the theater. And then that was already like people were still outside, like getting like waiting to get in. It wasn't even like people were sitting yet. I was like, oh, why did I run here? I was like, this is fucking mad behind. I'm like, oh, they can't be happy. I'm thinking like Dave and Tom are probably pissed, right? Dave's cool as cucumber. Tom's fine. I walk up. The manager comes over to me, and he's like, Ed Ploy. I think it was Ed Ploy. He was running everything, right? So he comes over to me, and he's like, all right, so we're just gonna let some more people fill in, obviously, because there's still people waiting outside for tickets, and he's like, this guy over here wants to go up for a minute in front of you and just say something. And I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Fine. Yeah, whatever. So then that guy comes up to me. He's like, do you mind if I go up for a minute in front? I go, I don't care. Just do it. Just go up for your minute, man. Yeah, it's fine. We're waiting now. We're waiting now. We're waiting now. And I'm like, yo, it's getting really fucking late now, right? So the whole time, this guy was told just to go up whenever the fuck he goes up. Oh, look who decided to fucking show up. Look who decided to fucking this piece of shit with your fucking wannabe Bane jacket. You're not cool.
that was nervous sips. He's a layup.
Wow, how long have you been waiting to use that joke, Adam?
I used it actually at the convention.
Month?
I just reused it.
Yeah.
I just brought it back. I thought it was funny. Again, I'll just you reuse that. So I'm in the middle of the Tom Woods Dave Smith thing, Jacob.
Okay.
Where the guy who's delaying the whole show. So again, Ed told him to go up whenever. So now we're just waiting. So then I'm waiting. I'm like, oh, let's go to the lobby. I see Alex Schlegel from Maryland up in the lobby. I'm talking to Alex Schlegel. And then I see Tom frantically pacing the lobby. He sees me and like a fucking like a leopard. He like locks eyes with me. And I'm like, oh no. He like walks, and Tom's significantly shorter than me. And he's like, what's up, man? He's like, what are we doing? I go, I don't know. What are we doing? I was like, what are we doing? What should I be doing something? And he's like, why aren't you? I go, that guy won't go. That guy won't go say stuff on stage. And he's like, what guy? He's like, show me. I'm like, that guy right there. He's like, well, let's go get him up there. I go, I got it. So like, I just run down there. And by that time, like apparently the whole time Ed Ploy was telling him just to go up. And because this was coming from Neil, because Neil was standing next to him. So Neil heard the whole time Ed Ploy was like going, hey, you go up. You should go up. You go up now. Go up now. And the guy was like, are more people coming in? We should be waiting for more people coming in. And they're like, they just go up. Like this guy thought they were there to see him. Like he was so important. Like he's like, I need everybody to be seated who was here to see Tom and Dave to hear my bullshit minute, which I don't even know what the fuck he talked about. But yeah, so Tom was very angry at me probably for like a half hour until he realized it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, my God, I actually didn't know that. But I remember you kind of saying towards the end of your set that you had to cut a little bit.
I cut 10 minutes of like new material.
So you cut all the funny stuff?
Yeah, good one. I lay up. That's fair. I wiffle ball that into you, and that was an easy home run.
Yeah, take the easy shots in life.
Take the easy shots. That's fair.
Yeah, well, you know what they say: you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and maybe you miss even more if you don't get 12 shots in. So
I knew that was coming. I was just sitting there like, okay, shot. So 12 shots joke. Insert here. Got it.
Yeah, well, what's funny is I actually I was talking to Dave and Tom outside. And I'm pretty sure it was someone who ran the Cathedral Caucus Facebook. had apparently approached Dave and made a 12-shot joke about him, and he was like, "Okay, it's kind of been beat to death at this point."
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what do you expect Dave to do? Like flip out on you? Like, is that your goal? Is to get Dave to be like, "Watch you, motherfucker!" Like he's just gonna be like, "Cool."
Yeah.
Like he's a professional comic. Like you think he hasn't been heckled before? I get heckled.
Right.
Like it's it was dumb. But I'm sorry, Kyle. What was your? I cut you off and tell it's a fucking dumb story. But what else were you saying about?
So Tom went up, and his thing wasn't like, he was funny in the kind of Tom Woods kind of way he's funny, and I feel like his speech was very motivating because it almost seemed like I don't want to say he was necessarily more appealing to a GOP kind of base there for a little bit because he had a lot of kind of more right-wingish kind of guys on. But when he spoke at the convention, it really kind of reignited the way I used to feel about the Libertarian Party. And I was feeling a little shaky there for a little bit. But, after this weekend and seeing the kind of people that were there and how things kind of went, I really felt like I was at home amongst all those people. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
Yeah. Jacob, your initial takeaway from Saturday.
People really have no.
It's always good when it has to be a giant sigh for a start.
I know, yeah. People do not have any grasp of like the narrative. Like they literally I think some people literally wake up and it's like their brain is on reset, like they're a goldfish and they don't have any long-term memory. Like they just literally wake up and just go day to day to day, and all they know is basically like they have like talking points written on their hand. It's like Orange Man bad, the Mises Caucus are Nazis, and like a couple other things, and that's it.
Right.
So if you look at like some of the things that people were upset about over the weekend, if you take them in isolation, might seem like, oh wow, that's shitty. I can't believe they did that. But it's like, okay, cool. But like, if you look at it within the greater context of like what because like again, history didn't start that weekend. History didn't start at the emergency board meeting before this convention took place. Okay, history started like really, if we're gonna really trace it the whole way back, started in 2017 when Michael Heise started the caucus, and then it really one of the crucial climaxes was last year at convention and everything that happened between that one and this one. So it's like, if you weren't at last convention and this one, and you're an outsider trying to comment on it, you really have no idea what you're talking about. And so like that was because like the entire like this was like the battles we were having were just like I don't know, like they were on the surface. It looked like we were debating over what like Robert's rules and bylaws and policy and this and that. But really, this was like on a deeper level. This was a battle for the soul of the party, and the issue of the entire like all the issues are basically lumped up into one thing, which is just like, what are you willing to do in the advancement of liberty? And also, what are you willing to do when you are faced with bad actors, right? And basically, we decided that we were not going to cave in to the demands of bad actors. And that was what this weekend was about, I think. Well, more than anything else, was that we were like, we were able to see through the transparency of how last year it was completely okay to ship in a bunch of out-of-staters and to, screw with credentialing and keep a lot of people from participating in the convention. And then the Cathedral Clock is going on all year about how they need to get everyone to Williamsport to try to stop the takeover from happening. And then literally the week before, they realized that they didn't have the numbers. They were going to resort to anything, including trying to appeal to our better natures, which is, one of the, honestly, like credit to them. Like that is one of the better strategies that they, have tried to employ against us, I guess, was that like, well, hey, like we're going to try to, hey, if they're saying they're principled and they're going to try to end out of state voting, then we're going to try to do it right now. And here's the thing. I think the numbers were in our favor anyway. The out of staters. Sure. Yeah. The out of staters basically just gave us the 2/3 majority needed to push things through quickly rather than having to kind of like take longer to get everything done. But I think that if we had caved into their demands, even if we would have won, we would have set a precedent for giving in to bad actors. And like, we have to cut that shit out. And that's what Mike has talked about. It's like, we have to not just like take over and get to work. We have to take over and establish that there is a new culture. There's a new regime in control of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania. And that like, we're not playing the same stupid games that we've had to play with these people for the past 2 years. Like, we're done with that crap. We're done with these dumb, childish, autistic games. We're here to get shit done. And if you want to whine and scream about like these stupid, petty little things, then just get out of the way. And I mean, that was something that Matt said on your show last night, which I really liked. It was just like, listen, you want to get work done? Let's get work done. And I don't care what caucus you are. I don't care, what your background is. If we align on an issue, like literally just one issue, I don't even need you to be a good libertarian. If right now you are a raging leftist, but you're good on the COVID regime, or you're good on the war with Russia or any of that, like fine, let's work together on that. Let's get it done. If you're going to be a stick in the mud and complain about shit that already happened, that was going to happen anyway. If the biggest thing you're upset about right now is, oh, well, you won and you were always going to win, but I don't like the way that you won because it hurt my feelings. It's like, too bad.
Too
like,
bad. It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Be an adult. Like, just
that's
like
what elections are. You lose and you win.
Well, the funny part about that whole deal with them losing is that there was no self-reflection. There was absolutely zero self-reflection.
It's just our fault.
Right. The former chair had sent out an email and had said that I'm not going to use political manipulation as a skill, and it's not a skill I care to learn, but she was using her position as chair to, hand the gavel down, right, to the vice chairs to chair the convention. And she said, I'm going to be in town getting a massage. Oh, Jesus.
Joel gets every cathedral member who left as a pussy, put it on the screen in all caps.
But it really said something to their character. Whereas last year they were so proud of all the people that got elected, and now this year came around, and they kind of rubbed it in everybody's face last year. We're like, okay, well, we're not going to waive this 180-day rule, and I fell under that. I wasn't able to vote last year at convention because I wasn't a member of the party for 180 days.
Right.
They brought that up. And then this year we come back with more numbers and more people who are willing to, vote and get involved. And then all of a sudden they cry, and I'm not going to show up at the convention, and I'm going to resign because things didn't go their way. They took their ball and they went home, which, okay, well, if you want to have a temper tantrum and freak out and cry in the lobby and make a big deal about it, then that's fine. But when you're ready to grow up and come back to the party and participate like an adult, we'll be here to welcome you with open arms if you're going to be a good faith actor. And I think a lot of people expose themselves as not good faith actors. If you were one of those people who stormed out first thing in the morning before lunchtime, and I'll be the first to say,
mid-meeting.
Saturday morning to Saturday afternoon literally felt like two completely separate days. Like I literally thought it was like Saturday to Sunday.
I was like, did I time travel somewhere?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring in. I was gonna bring in my opener Blaise Gegeckas because he was there also. What's up, Blaise? Shout out.
What's up, boys?
Again, he's a non-libertarian. He was there doing comedy, with me. But like, he's
that's what you want to call it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, compared to Adam.
All right, I will stop it. How dare you? This is my show. No, but like I would say, Blaise leans a lot with a lot. I think a lot of things we rock with, he rocks with too. Minor differences here or there. I mean, he's pretty. I would say Blaise is pretty libertarian leaning. But as an outsider, though, who isn't involved in the party at all directly, he just knows what I tell him or what he overhears me talk about it. I wanted to hear his take as an outsider. Like, what the fuck did you think of like watching?
Have you ever
that
seen
weekend?
A bigger collection of virgins in your life?
No. No. I gotta be honest. No.
Sorry, I had to get that one out there.
I could count them as I was walking by. It was pretty obvious.
You know,
Huh.
some of them are just like I think Dave said this on Tower Power Hour. He's like, I wonder if any of those guys had had their penis like just inside four walls. Like forget a vagina, just like inside four walls of something from another person.
Another person. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's funny because those guys would mostly be the ones advocating for sex work legal
Right,
as
of
soon
course.
as possible. The ones who need it the most.
Which
is
of
that?
course, when you go, yeah, I don't think they should jail prostitutes either. But I'm not gonna be like, you should go to be a sex worker. They're like, you hate sex workers. I go, no, it's just I'm not saying you should admire to be one.
Zero.
Yeah.
What is it? Zero pussy and what it does to a motherfucker.
Yeah, but Blaise, so what did you think? Like, truly, what were your takeaways of the weekend? Like, just from everything.
Everyone was super nice that I met anyway. I kind of zoned out of the politics. It seemed to me that a lot of you guys just agree with each other. So it was a lot of like harumph, like from Blazing Saddles. So I was just like, everyone's just agreeing. I don't even understand what they're talking
Circle
about.
jerk aspects to it.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was great. It was a lot of fun. I unfortunately was super hungover and missed like all the infighting, which I was there to see, and I missed it because I drank way too much on Friday night and then did it again on Saturday night.
Dude, I walked in.
Didn't you miss it too, Adam? Because you were on the shitter.
I missed
it.
a good hour and a half of Saturday because I was taking a shit, and then I missed a good other hour and a half because I was like outside getting coffee and smoking weed.
Yeah, I don't think you missed. You probably didn't miss anything you'd want to write home about.
But I walked into Blaise and Neil's room Saturday morning. I just opened the door, and he's on top of the sheets in all of his clothes with his hat on, still passed out. And I was like, "All right, so I'm gonna get coffee." He was like, "I don't know what time he's waking up."
That's the most I've drinking in years.
Drinking?
Yeah, and I was hungover for 3 days.
Yeah, I was high hungover, which is hard to do.
Yeah, that is.
I felt dehydrated for that week.
But as a libertarian, it's your right to do that.
It is our right to do that. I thought it was funny. Blaise did though say he's like, I can tell the difference though just by looking at the Mises person and the cathedral person.
Yeah.
There is a stark difference.
Yeah, and I mean I didn't have any interactions with those people just because obviously I hung out with whoever like Adam was hanging out with because I'm not like a part of it really. And so I couldn't tell if they were nice or not, but from what I heard, they're a bunch of assholes.
Well, see, the problem is that there is another type there. So you have the Mises people, you have the cathedral people, and then you have CIA agents. So
Okay.
they're pretty easy to spot out too, to be honest. I think.
Yeah, their names are Nick Starward.
I saw a lot of hiking boots this weekend. I will say
a lot of hiking boots. Yeah, for sure.
A lot of Indiana Jones looking ass motherfuckers.
The part where Sarwar got up and was just like, it is a level of cheating, corruption I have never, and everyone is just like, dude, shut the fuck.
Oh my god. Yeah, the best part about that was literally he said that shit with a straight face, and the entire room bust out laughing right as soon as he said that.
Dude, he'd be a great actor.
Yeah. See, that's something I missed.
That was his Twitter. Yeah, that was his Twitter basically personified. That was
I would have stood up and started the clap.
This guy was behind, but Blaise, this guy was behind a coup to basically steal and defraud an entire state party in New Hampshire.
Wow.
Theft.
Yeah, I will tell you, this weekend felt a lot like the first time you watched Tiger King, where you go like, I didn't realize how that this world existed, and definitely not how deep it went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I honestly felt. I was like, oh my God, libertarian, this is like a real thing. There's so many of these people wasting their votes and shit, but
that's kind of what I hit on a lot in my show and on others as well, is that there's so many people who their entire lives revolves around a fucking political party. And look, if you're in activism, that's great. And I, really appreciate everybody's work that they do. Right. But if your entire life revolves around this and you're literally crying over the fact that things didn't go your way in a political party and you're going to just go home over this when you drove 3 hours, then dude, you need more to your life. You need to be a little bit more. If being the treasurer of, your local affiliate is all that you have going for you, that's kind of a sad existence.
I will give a shout out to Nicole Schultz, by the way, for actually sticking through the whole weekend, and whoever else stuck through. That's appreciated. And everyone who left here is a fucking coward.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, maybe they will be back next year. I do have to admit, Waldenberger's sticking around, and then giving everyone the bird on the way out might
That's
have been
pretty
the
funny.
highlight. Yeah, it might have been the highlight.
We missed that. We were driving home. We missed that whole thing.
Damn.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! I wish I had the video of it, but it is.
Yeah,
one of
Bonnie
the-
stuck around too, Joel. Yeah. Oh yeah. I wish I don't have the video of him leaving, like exiting. We just have the video of just the initial.
The best part was how he was like like he just wasn't. It was like he was like having like a seizure, or like he was being like going through an exorcism or something. Like he was
Fuck
just
you, Chuck.
yeah.
Which, by the way, Ken holding his laughter back when he's like, he has the floor, please, is very funny. Everything about this. See, this is like what I enjoy about being a comic is like I start to not listen to the main person anymore, and then you start to just focus on details and like. So then I'm like, all right, I already heard John's thing. I'm done. So now, like, what else can I? And I start to focus on like Ken. Ken holding his laughter back is objectively hilarious, and then you pan over to Matt. And what makes it so funny is Matt is just his eye movement and the way he's rolling his head is so funny because John's like, this party is a disgrace. And John's like, and Matt's like, like Matt was like the perfect person to be next to John during this like fucking rant. And then Nicole's just sitting there like dejected. And then you look over and then it's fucking, again, Ken holding his laughter back. Then the parliamentarian who's like, what is this? And then Karen Ann's like, like it's like
who was that parliamentarian? Like, is he part of the party or was he
no?
just
Apparently, they just hired him. Apparently,
Well,
I don't know how true
again,
that is. If
okay.
anybody knows,
Well,
drop it in the
that
comments.
was a great
but-
first impression.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, I would never come back if that was my first impression of the Libertarian Party. I'd be like, man, these people need like fucking therapy or something. Jesus.
Well, I don't know. I got there on Friday night, and we just all started drinking. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is the funny thing about the libertarians is like everyone's like fuck you. We're gonna go get fucking hammered though first,
Right.
and
Dude,
do all the
the-
drugs.
The like the juxtaposition of like the convention and then the hotel in the nights like after convention where like we were all screaming at each other, getting into fights, and then we're just all drinking. We're just like, hey man, I love you. You're fucking great. I don't know what the fuck.
The amount of people on mushrooms on Saturday night was alarming. Who microdosed shrooms? I was like, what do you guys?
Dude,
this
I
isn't the
think
place to do
I think
it.
I might have been one of two people who was not high that weekend.
Well, you're a nerd, but yeah.
Okay, well, I was moderately drunk, and I kind of don't do any of that stuff. So
I blacked out.
I'll tell you this much: I'll tell you that when we were all together eating dinner,
Oh my god.
It took 8 hours.
you
where this is
pieces
going.
of shit. First of all, for context out there, we are not the only people in this fucking hotel. Okay, it's the Genetti Hotel. It's a very famous hotel. It's a 100-year hotel. It's in the middle of Williamsport. A lot of people are staying there, not just libertarians for the convention. So, of course, 12 of us sit down to eat dinner.
Dude, I think it was more than that.
maybe 15.
Yeah, more
20?
Like, it felt like 18. Yeah,
All right, a lot
there
of
was
us.
2 tables.
Everyone is hammered, and a table over from us is an elderly table of 4, just trying to enjoy their fucking night. And then we have Anthony Portillo just being like, suck my fucking cock. And I'm looking over, and they're just like
Pull your pants down.
flabbergasted. And then I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm the voice of reason to this party. You guys know we're fucked. If Adam Nutter's like, you guys got to be quiet. And then
Yeah.
as I'm fucking piping down Anthony, Kyle stands up, whiskey in hand, because he has no idea what I was just saying. He didn't even listen to the word I said. He just stood up and was like, I'm a fucking dick, and just yelled it to nobody, just the room.
Kind of to the old people.
Almost like he was trying to get them to leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did I just say? He's like, oh, I don't know. I wasn't listening. I was like, shut the fuck up.
You want to tug on this, Grandma?
And then they just took their drinks and were like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry. Tell them sorry.
See, like I feel bad for them, but I feel slightly more bad for Neil because like Anthony basically molested him. So
Dude, same. Kiss me on
So-
the mouth.
Anthony was.
Oh, yeah,
having
me too.
Anthony was having a really good time both nights, and I'm pretty sure he told me, yeah, I like licked Tom Woods.
He did. He tried to like Tom Woods.
oh my gosh, poor Tom.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a night for him.
I will say that on Saturday night, it felt like the early part of the night, there was
Look at that.
rules, and by the end of the night, everyone was like vaping inside, and there was like no rules anymore, like none.
Yeah.
Adam
no,
was
we
playing
did.
2 songs on the piano. There was like people gathered around, like vaping it up. I'm pretty sure the hotel would have been like, "You cannot vape in here." But like no one cared. Everyone was smoking weed and jewels.
They were playing
and
fucking
vapes.
Streets of Rage 2 in the fucking room in the garden room. It was wild,
Yeah,
dude.
it was great. It was
so
a lot
weird.
of fun. I'm glad I went.
Yeah, no, it was fun. To address the convention stuff again too, and like the dishonesty from one side, like Heise took the blame for nominating that shitty governor guy. Like he was like, that wasn't a Mises Caucus decision, that was like my decision. And they're still like, the Mises Caucus is fucking. It's like,
Dude, I had no idea we were nominating him.
I didn't know who that guy
until the
was.
day, like we
Yeah,
didn't.
no, I didn't either.
Yeah, I had no clue. And then we like in a matter of an hour, I was like, it was kind of like, listening to him talk. I was like, I was like, it's not bad. 20 minutes later, I'm like, no.
Yes,
What the
100%.
fuck is going on? That was, listen, if you're going to criticize us for something, that is legitimate. Like that was,
Yes.
and Mike owned up to it. I'm glad he did. And I love Mike. And listen,
yes,
mistakes happen. That was a doozy. Like that was fucking bad.
yeah.
Well,
Sex
they're
offender,
gonna
not great.
yeah, they're gonna take this for every single inch that they can. And I had kind of put it up in some of the Mises Caucus chats that I didn't like that. I believe it was James Gentleman, and I like James, but I don't like the way that he went after Solosky for the picture. And I get it. I don't agree with Solosky posting that picture, but look, dude, we've all made fucked up jokes.
What was the picture?
It was a picture.
Yeah.
But Joe does this over and over and over again.
Hold on, explain in context for Blaise. And anybody out there who also might not know, listening, everybody knows about it.
Okay, so Joe's running for governor here in Pennsylvania, and he's been campaigning actually pretty well over the last 2 years, right? And
I smell a blackface coming on.
he's been trying to play both sides, right? He wants to be a Mises Caucus guy, and he also wants to be kind of like, your run-of-the-mill libertarian. And he kept saying, bad stuff about the Mises Caucus, and then eventually he just kind of hung his hat on being more of like I don't want to say a cathedral guy because he's not like specifically that, but more of the establishment LP, right?
Like a regime type of, right.
So the Mises Caucus kind of decided like we don't want to run this guy, so Michael by himself had nominated Daryl against Joe. Now Joe, prior to the convention, had posted a picture of himself holding a gun saying, getting ready for the LPPA convention. And then he posted another picture in his comments on that picture of him, holding a gun, standing by a window saying, seeing the takeover bus is arriving. It's a joke. It's in bad taste. I don't agree with making that joke. There are plenty of other things that we could hit him on, like Kate Crosby, who was elected mayor in Austin. I'm pretty sure he said that she was a murderer, right? And he was like spreading this around, using his platform to say that she was a murderer.
I didn't want to bring that up though because I didn't want to like
throw Kate on the bus.
I didn't want to disrespect Kate's privacy more than it already has been.
Well, it has been at this point by these fucking scumbags so much already. It's almost weird not to address at this point, honestly.
My point in bringing this up is that we shouldn't criticize him for something like that. That shouldn't be the main point that we're kind of hammering him on, right? Because if we're all about getting elected libertarians, out and about, and Kate is exactly that. She's a perfect success here in Pennsylvania. And I tell people about it all the time because you always hear people, oh, libertarians get elected. She's an example of someone who put in the work and got elected and won her election, I believe, against an incumbent. So that should be celebrated, right? And then you have these, regime libertarians, the part of the establishment kind of guys who are speaking out against her, who won, doing what they wanted her to do, and they're not supporting her. Like, are you guys really about getting libertarians elected, or is it just the ones that you like?
Well, here's the thing.
It's the ones they like.
Well,
right.
Here's the thing. Nicole, in less than a week, has done a million times better than Joe did in fucking 2 years. Okay? Because Nicole was seen as somebody who was anti-Mises, and with honest, effort put forth, has talked to us, and even if there's people in the caucus that still might vote for Matt, but they're like, hey, Nicole's cool. We want to work with her. She's somebody that we want to, we can build a working relationship with. Whereas with Joe, it was like, he would just keep doubling down over and over again.
Or answer kind of shady, like, right? He kind of snaked his way out of his answers.
He did call us a cancer that had to be cut out of the party.
That too. Right. Okay, so there you go. That's another thing. Let's hit him for the things that are clear in bad faith. A gun thing, nobody thought he was really going to shoot.
I don't know.
Nobody thought he would harm anybody.
But here's the thing: like, if you're running for you want me to vote for you for governor, and you're gonna do something that fucking aloof and with like you have zero self-awareness. It's like, I'm sorry, like it's just I don't know. I was actually sitting with James when he got up to go and do that, so I was cheering him on. So like there are plenty of other things that we could have nailed him on, but that was so recent. I think that's why James chose it, because it was like just such a like, you know, if you're a governor candidate. The other thing, it's so hypocritical because like what are people's complaints about us, that we're edgy and we post like edgy offensive jokes on the internet, and then what does he do? It was like, oh come on guys, it's just a joke. It's like, you disingenuous piece of fucking human garbage.
That's our thing. That's our whole thing, is like we're just joking, and that's the hypocrisy that fucking triggers me, right? Is like,
like
it's
nobody,
like a pet peeve. It's just hypocritical. It's like you guys come after our clear as day jokes all the fucking time, and then you guys joke and we're like, you're doing it now. Just we're making that out clear.
Our jokes are in good faith,
like, and they're like, no, we're not. People, it's like,
well, that's what I mean. I definitely agree with that latter point. That you know, as a governor candidate, you shouldn't say something like that. And when it's kind of been a repeated blow. And there's just so many bad faith things that were said about our end of the party that I just could not, in good faith, support Joe. You know, great job. You did a lot of work, you know, being governor, but you should kind of keep, try to work a little bit better with other people other than the ones who you like, if you really want to be governor. And don't be surprised when we don't vote you in because you've been shitty to our part of the party.
You know, Jay Trax makes a good point. What if there was a pic of Mike Heise saying the same about a cathedral bus, right?
Oh, you know, they would go nuclear. They would lose their minds.
Yeah, they'd be like, he's threatening murder. It's like the NAP. It's like, yeah,
he's literally Hitler.
He's literally Hitler. Yeah, like which is also funny because don't forget, they said that we can't use talk about like Holocaust referencing to the mandates and the vaccine stuff, but not like taking on the LGBTQ plank they wanted to pass is literally like Hitler. Like they actually said that. They actually compared that to the Holocaust. I'm like, nope.
Okay. So Friday night, if I recall correctly, Rob Coburn, who's now chair, everybody who knows Rob knows he's a good dude. He's an easygoing guy, and he's a great libertarian. I believe some of the cathedral guys and Nick Sorwork were kind of getting on him a little bit in the bar, and credits to Rob, because I don't know how I would have handled that when you have like 3 or 4 people kind of getting up and ganging up on you and hammering you about this anti-bigotry plank or whatever.
Jerk them off.
Yeah, you should jerk them off.
Yeah, they were all they were all kind of getting on him about it. And I think I bought everybody shots. Me, Michael Heise, Rob, and a few other people. And Mike Heise went up to Nick Sorwork and cheered a shot with him and said, "Blood and soil, Nick," and down the shot. It was pretty funny. But thankfully, the situation was kind of diffused. But you could still tell that certain people who were goading Rob were acting in very, very poor faith.
Yeah, that's the thing I noticed too a lot of this weekend. Again, people could have to be like, "You're biased." Okay, sure, but I'm not. I'm being honest. Like what I'm about to say, it's like what I saw was MC people as a whole trying to reach olive branches out a lot of the way. Be like, no, don't leave. Like, don't. Like, I even Brandon and Bentram and Joe Bissell, Bucks guy, my chair and secretary. Apparently, they tried to like talk to John in the lobby when he stormed out. Like, yo, don't like do that. Like, so like they did try to like talk to him apparently, but all I saw was
he's the one exception. I would not fight to keep him. Everyone else I will.
I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what I was told. Okay.
I was actually thinking about helping him. Be like, listen, do you need help packing your bags? Change of address? Change of political party? Like, let's get this done.
Green party. Let's get over there. No, but like, but the cathedral guys would just take shots all weekend at people. Like, and they still are taking shots at us, like in chats and shit. It's like, Okay, man. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been a dick yet. I mean, to one person, and then even I fucking buried the hatchet because he had good conversation with Audrey, and I fucking trust Audrey. So,
Well, it's not a good formula to win back your political party by abandoning it. So
right,
And that's what there was
that's
a
what
lot.
they're doing, though.
Joel, yes, I am totally a racist Nazi because I've not had you on my show yet.
Oh yeah.
I guess I am too. Sorry, Joel.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm not quite bald, but I probably will be one day, so I'll totally own that.
You gotta buzz it.
I mean, of all the arguments
yeah.
that people have made at me about how I'm a Nazi despite being Jewish, that is the most accurate argument I've heard. So I have no refutation of it.
One thing I wanted to bring up is that everyone talked about the busing in the out-of-state people, right? Last year it was an issue. This year was an issue. But guess what happened? Unanimously, almost. I don't think there was anybody opposed to it. Actually, unanimously, everyone voted to take away the right of out-of-state voters to vote in the
Even
convention.
out-of-staters voted.
Yes.
To take away.
So, and that's the main reason why the Mises
Right.
talk is had people come in from out of state is to take that plank out.
Right.
And I kind of wish everybody would like stop for a second and think about that. Like we all voted on one thing and literally everybody agreed. Like just stop for 1 second and think about this. Maybe our goals
has
aren't
one
that-
vote opposed.
Yeah, right. But that's my point. Like
Right.
maybe our goals aren't that far apart if we all unanimously voted on that. So
Right. That's why I said at the beginning, like when I came in late, that like this was about the narrative. Like I was honestly last week before the convention when the whole like talk about the emergency meeting and stuff, I was thinking about like, let's just get rid of it now at this meeting so we don't have to do it at the convention and save time. But then I realized like, no, like this to them, they're not doing this out of integrity and actually wanting to do the right thing. They are trying to manipulate us and to bully us. And I was like, and the out-of-staters didn't help us pass anything we couldn't have passed otherwise. They helped us just like, and even like I say this, like we were able to get through business quicker, and it still took forever. Like, and the people are bitching about like how we did the delegates thing, right? I was like, guys, 100 people signed up on that sheet that Luke had. There are 49 slots. How do you expect us to? Like, do you expect us to go like line by line on each person? You know how long it took? You know how long it took to get through like a governor just like you know governor races and chair races.
2 people.
Like we would still be there. Like it would probably take
and
like.
that's the thing, and like not to cut you off, Jacob, but to just piggyback your point, and like you said it in group chats, and I've seen you post in group chats. It's like not to be a dick, but we had the numbers. That's it. We could.
Does he have an iPhone or an Android?
Who?
Jacob.
Why? I don't know. Because that's the only good thing about him.
Just making sure.
I
almost left the fucking chat.
But it's like we have the numbers. It's like I'm sorry to cut that to you, but like, how do you think this is gonna go? We're gonna vote the way we all believe to vote, and that's the other bullshit thing. Is like you guys are told how to vote. They should see the arguments we have in fucking our own chats. Like I've seen Jacob and Heise go at it multiple times about differing ideas.
I think I was the person who argued with Mike probably the most now. Before he left the caucus, it was Adam G, but now it's me.
We're trying to push Jacob out as we're slowly trying to
I'll be the
go
next
back to your
one.
lefty roots.
Massaging it out. So I kind of wanted to bring up the point about the removals of the chairs because at first I had thought that was kind of based in bad faith, like it was a little bit of blood sport on our part. But as the convention went on and on the me and my brother giving Karen Ann Harless a ride back to the airport, she kind of elaborated on it a little bit more. And I kind of wanted to put this out there for everybody so everybody kind of understands what was going on. So it was Sloan, Bill Sloan, I think.
Bill Sloan and Sam Robb.
Yeah, Bill Sloan and Sam Robb. So personally, I don't know Bill at all. I've had a few interactions with Sam Robb and they've always been good. I personally have no issues with Sam Robb. But
Joel's preaching right now.
Yeah, he said, I disagree with the system was treated with respect when I disagree with the cathedral past chair steals of social media assets.
Dude, Joel was still anti-Mises. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Kyle, but like Joel was still kind of anti-Mises when I first met him and I joined a committee with him. And then he just saw a bunch of people who were like triggered by me for like the next like 8 months after I joined. You're like, what the fuck? Like Jacob's just trying to hear and like work with us, and he hasn't done anything wrong. And people, I think we had like 3 or 4 people rage quit the committee just because I was appointed onto it.
Because you're a Nazi.
It's like,
you're a Nazi, yeah.
What are you here for? If you're gonna leave when other people come in that you don't like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, is this about the party and liberty, or is this about you having a little bit of status in this small pond that we have, this small pond that is growing exponentially, I feel. But kind of back to the whole removal of the chairs. Karen Ann had said that the chairs actually aren't allowed to remove people, right? So when they were telling Mike and Karen Ann, when they were just simply trying to call the question or appeal the ruling of the chair or doing whatever they were doing, when Sam Robb had said that he was going to remove them, he cannot do that. The way that it would actually have to go.
All right. I resign from all my positions from the Mises Caucus for this irrational.
That's all we had to do.
Statement.
I condemn that comment as irrational and repugnant. But the chairs aren't allowed to have people removed. They would have to say, all right, well, I'm going to call it to the body to make a vote to have you removed. They don't have the authority to remove people. So that's kind of, after learning about that, that's why I didn't feel like it was Bloodsport anymore. I realized that, once again, these chairs perhaps were not operating in the best of intentions as I thought they were. So that's why it was kind of deemed necessary.
They were going to stall. They were going to stall business until they forced the out-of-state issue at the beginning. And like, I love how transparent Sam Robb was, where he was like, I'm not trying to drag anything out.
Physically slowing his speech down.
I'm just trying. I was just like, wow, like these people are so.
I actually heard him literally say ... on stage.
Yeah, ellipses.
Awesome. Hey, Heise, if you want to jump in this, let me know. I'll send you the link. if you want to take 32 cents in, let me know. I'll read your comments.
Yeah, it was. You could just tell once I understood that it's like, okay, well, these guys are no longer operating in the interest of the majority of the party. So get the heck out.
He's pretty friendly with Sam Robb,
right?
You know what I mean?
I was too.
He has 2 first names. You can't trust them.
I got you. Yeah, no, I actually excuse me. Fuck. It was fucked up what Jen Moore did to him. Like they just threw him under the fucking butt, like last minute, pretty much, right? And was like, "Hey, you got to do this now." So like, I did shake his hand when he pretty much at the end of the day, I was like, "Hey, man, like, sorry that happened to you." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is kind of fucked, and like, I don't want to be a dick, and like, just. But yeah, that was fucked. I'm sorry, I got to send this thing to Mike real quick.
Don't worry, David Brady. He doesn't follow me on Twitter either.
Well, Mike's gonna get in here when we back out of here.
Yeah, I got you. But thanks for tuning in. That's why, like I said, I just wanted to give you 2 cents.
The convention was fun. The whole weekend seemed like a blur because I was wasted. Thank you for the good time. Politics.
Politics.
You're almost
Later,
better
Russ.
off being involved. We'll see, dude.
Later, dude. Thanks for coming in.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was the right move to remove the vice chairs. They were not acting in the best interest of the party, and that's just, these people are just like unable to operate in reality. Yeah. It's like, I could not believe how, like, it was like pretty instant when we knew, and everyone knew, we had close to a 3/4 majority, and they were like, well, let's keep fighting every single motion because reasons. It's just like, I would get it if it was like, we had the majority, but it was like 55% or something. Because it's like, maybe there's people in the middle who might vote either way, and you want to debate it and stuff. But dude, guys, when it's like a 70% majority, and you're just getting voted down every time, I'm like, I think you all get off on like just the attention and the humiliation of it. It's just it's sad.
Yeah. I think there were quite a few people who were kind of getting off on embarrassment. It honestly surprised me how many times Nick Sorwork would go up to the microphone or John Waldenberger and they would get laughed out or booed off the freaking microphone. Like it was impressive.
Mike, I sent it to your Facebook Messenger. I don't know. I sent it to your text and Facebook. Figure it out. I don't know. No, like I said this on. I forgot what podcast I said this on already, but I was like, at what point, as Nick Sarwark or even John, are you tired of just getting publicly dog walked where you're not embarrassed to just keep doing that? Like it's not balls. Like people go, oh, they have balls. It's not balls after a while. It's not that, because balls inquires bravery. There's no bravery doing that.
Right. Like, it's just like pure embarrassment. And someone was saying that that some of those individuals might get sexually satisfied by being absolutely humiliated. And I don't know, man. I don't have another explanation for it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say one of the just something funny that popped into my mind. One of the like underrated funny moments of the convention was when Jonathan Weir got up and basically just promoted his business for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that was kind of funny though. I mean, honestly, I don't even blame him for that. Do it.
Yeah, dude, he was kind of right. He was kind of grifting there a little bit.
Yeah, that's smart. He's not
the happiest with us right now and stuff, and like whatever, that's fine. But I had to like, I was just laughing. I was just like, he doesn't want to be up there. He's like just up there like, I have a business. I do things.
Guys, we have to show our respect to Fuhrer Heise, or he'll hit us.
Yeah, we all have to make sure we vote exactly the way
with the spoons.
Yeah, I have to.
we all rubber stamp his votes. One interesting.
Can I leave my basement soon, Mike? Because I miss my kids.
Just for an hour.
The chains hurt my feet, and if you could, they're gonna think we're serious too.
Funny thing is, I actually hate this. But yeah,
I know you do. That's why I'm also doing it.
There were a lot of people accusing Karen Ann of just rubber stamping for Michael Heise as well. And I believe, Mike, you made a motion to...
She slapped him down.
For something over email, and she straight up said, no, this is against the bylaws, you're out of order, something like that, because you have to vote in person. So against that narrative.
What that was specifically was... how I had proposed to vote for the delegates. Mm-hmm. We never intended to ram it through the way that we did.
We just didn't want to spend 2 fucking days narrowing 100 down to 49.
Yeah, but no, what was supposed to happen, and I actually workshopped this out with Sally, who was our convention and membership committee chair, with Fetzko, who was our information systems chair, and with Bonnie, who was our secretary. I workshopped a solution out with all of them. And like we all agreed on, like, that's all right, that sounds good. And that was the Helios voting form. And so basically John would have taken the form where everyone signed up, put them each as an option to vote for on that form, which would have then got shot out at some point in the dinner break, and voting would have closed at some point, probably lunch on Sunday, for everyone to vote on. That's how we were supposed to do the candidates.
Like Karen said, that was not allowed according to our bylaws.
I can't remember if she did or not. I know Ken did.
Why? Because it's electric or something like that?
Because technically you could send it out to people who were credentialed but no longer on the floor.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even thought about that. Like, all I had thought about was we're going to have 300 plus people who each cast 49 votes out of a pool of like 80 or so people. And that's a fucking nightmare. You know what I mean? Like, and that ain't going to work. There's going to be a mistake. And so I was just trying to fix that and didn't even think about the people not being on the floor element of it. So that's why we rammed it down and just said, all right, well, plan B, we're just giving you the fucking list and voting on it. Like,
well, they had put forth a list of, what was it, 13 alternate delegates, and there was a little bit of discussion around that as well, because Steve Sheets was supposed to be on there, but he wasn't even at the convention, and he's a former chair, which everyone I think kind of agrees that, like, dude, if you're a former chair and our chair, you know, like, you guys both aren't here, it doesn't look good. But you still want to go to Reno to represent us, but you're not at your own state convention.
Not to mention the way that Sheets has been acting over, especially the past month, deserves complete censorship and removal from the party, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a. It's like again, I also like. If I feel like if she blocked, like I said, half the party, or for like half of us, or most of us, like yeah, like she's like sending out messages through like lackeys to like get to us now. It's like I think it's like I don't care what you think.
Mm-hmm.
You're irrelevant.
Right.
See you later. You're actually not even part of the party anymore.
I think that they'll never take this lesson, but that is the real lesson of this convention is that they're a tiny minority in what they represent of this party anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know what? The great Nick Sorwork did once say, "The party belongs to those who show up."
Right, which that constantly getting rubbed in his face, thrown in his fucking face, is backfiring tremendously.
and these people are not doing anything to get more people to show up. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Like they bitch about it when we take over county affiliates. They bitch about it when we take over state affiliates. It's like, I mean, what do you like? This is not rocket science, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't like what we're doing, do your own thing and just beat us. Like
Yep.
No, you're right. This is what I realized from I think this past weekend too, is they think shit talking us online and giving out really shitty memes is like inspiring people to come out to fucking vote against us. When in reality, our messaging and not just our messaging, our community events. Like, I mean, again, Fiora Heise lets me gracious enough to let me go and do comedy for certain events, and like truthfully, every time I go to any Mises event and do comedy, like everyone's fucking awesome. Like everyone's there to have a good time. There's like 200 people, 300 people, 100 people. Like there's always a large group of people, and everyone like there's never trouble. People are fucking drinking, smoking weed, fucking partying, comedy, music, fucking karaoke, the whole thing. And they're jealous that they cannot build a fucking culture environment around their shitty fucking ideas or their shitty cultural status. And they look at us and go, "Oh, they're having fun. They're fucking getting shit done. They're doing what we wish we could do. So we could just have to attack them instead of."
But Adam, Kevin Gahn grew this party so much.
I know.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, where's the growth?
They would have been there. They would have been there. They would have been there. They would have been there.
But like, they're just taking credit for what we've done, and maybe like a little bit of the Joe and Spike campaign. But honestly, like, this is the same problem I have with Gary Johnson, where people go, "Look at all the votes we got. Look at all the votes we got," and I look at all the people that like joined the party. Like, hey, but if they're not showing up and they're not getting involved in the movement, then what's the fucking point? Like just like a short temporary victory, like that doesn't mean anything.
That's why Kevin and all these guys are like, we grew the party. If you grew the party, there would have been 120 people there to counter our votes.
Right.
But there weren't. So how are you growing the party? If we won, how are you growing the party?
And not just one, but like 80-20'd.
Yeah, it was a bodied.
You know what I mean? Like
we ratio them.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's why they were freaking out, because the entire thing, like what we're getting at, is their entire facade was rebuked, and yeah. Well, let me ask you guys a question, because I've had some of these conversations in private, and it's been a fun conversation. What was all of your guys' favorite moment of last weekend?
Anyone want to go first?
I'll go first.
Sure.
So I kind of have a two-way tie.
Okay.
For me, I went to that elected libertarian event. And when I came out of that thing, it was like a fucking Mises bomb went off. Like it was kind of like sparsely attended. And then I went to that thing and I had a few drinks and I was feeling good anyway. But then it was just like a bomb went off. And I pretty much went straight to credentialing and for early credentialing. And I must have hugged like 150 people in an hour. You know, like, and when I went over to credentialing and saw the demographics of the credentialing room, let's say, I was like, oh, we got this bitch. Because, you know, believe it or not, I still have this mindset of like, no one's fucking coming. You know what I mean? Like, I still like I didn't know what was going to happen fundamentally. I mean, I felt pretty good, but I fundamentally didn't know what was going to happen. So once I saw that and gave all those hugs, I was like, oh shit, we got this. And then also the first standing vote.
Okay, yeah.
The first standing vote. I look back and it looks like a fucking sports stadium starting the wave.
Like zombie nations, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I think everybody had a collective like, wow, at that point.
Dude, it's wild because I was again up at the doors most of the time because they would not let me in with coffee. Infuriating. next fucking place we go, that has to be a thing. Coffee allowed in.
Yeah.
So I was standing in the lobby, like the ramp, pretty much the whole time. But and like so, Bill Cox and I were saying each other when this first standing vote, and I felt like a king, like looking down on everybody. And I was like, wow, this is wild. Like it was so blatant. Like it was like a really good image, like like a really powerful image to like see. I was like, oh shit, dude, we got this. It's not even close.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, Mike, I kind of wanted to ask too. What is so from last year to this year, and seeing the difference between the 2 years, what's kind of like your thoughts, and how did you feel kind of seeing how things went last year to this year?
So honestly, the difference is only in result. That sounds kind of stupid, but like we had the fucking numbers last year. You know what I mean? Like they were just not allowed in the party because they wouldn't allow 20 people to credential, and that swung shit. And then they had the 180-day rule because they were able to keep people out. And like we had the numbers last year. So I mean, the main feeling that I have is relief. I'm relieved that I don't have to fight these idiots anymore, and we can just scale up the strategy that's already working elsewhere. All the contested races. Well, I don't want to say all, but of the contested races that won in this state that I'm aware of, we backed them. You know what I mean? Like, and they were like our people, Ben Sievers and Cade. And
right.
So I want to get more involved in that. I want to get us more involved in issues. Like I want to create program. Like, can you guys believe that there's no method of like interviewing our candidates who are running across the state and determining which ones are high viability races? So like who's running in a head-to-head, no incumbent, they've ran before, they're knocking doors, they have a team. Like just having this list of who are the serious candidates, rank ordering them, and then having a budget of like, all right, we're giving this much money to our solid candidates, plus making a concerted effort to send ground support there. There's nothing like that. And that's like basic common fucking sense. And that's what the experience has been. Everything we're doing, it's not brain surgery. It's hard work, but we're phone banking. Motherfuckers haven't been phone banking in this party for 50 years, apparently. You know what I mean? Like, it's astounding. It's sad.
So one thing that I've kind of thrown out there a lot, and we kind of talked about this in one of the chats, but you hear from so many people that libertarians can't get elected, you guys can't win. And then on Twitter, I sent you a screenshot, and someone said, don't confuse the Mises Caucus sweeping a state as the Libertarian Party picking up steam. You had a pretty good rebuttal to that.
Yes.
But do you think that we're picking up steam, or does it just, is this just a pointless culture war, as some may say?
No, I think we are picking up steam. I mean, do you mean like just the party as a whole? What's going to make the party as a whole pick up? So the chronic problem, in my opinion, of the party is that there is no unified strategy, and there's no long-term strategy. So everyone's just starting from scratch every election cycle, and there's no institutional knowledge. And even if you did have it, you can't form fit it around something because there's no unified strategy. And that's something that I think we bring to the table. It's like we're going to focus on issues, and we're going to focus on nullification candidates, and train people up on that, and then how to identify the viable races. Nobody knows how to, like, most people don't know how to do it. I mean, people get mad at me for saying it, but somebody will be like, well, I want to run for state senate. I'm like, why? Like, what is there, like, because you guys were talking about it earlier. Unless you win, not really a return on investment in votes.
Right.
You know, but so we need people. We need people more than we need votes. And then we will get the votes once we have the people, because
you can't put the cart before the horse.
Yeah. Like if you're not, frankly, like, I mean, just statistically, now I've gone through training and shit from Young Americans for Liberty and other places. But I mean, the reality is if you don't have a team and you aren't knocking doors, you're a fucking douchebag. You're not a real candidate. You're not serious.
Yeah. I also do find it quite ironic and hilarious that, they thought we were going to pack our ball and leave after last year, and then we just tripled down, and they literally packed their ball and left when they lost.
Dude. And literally, like my favorite moment from the convention was when we put Ken up there. Like that was such a cathartic moment, just like it, and like sort of like the beginning of like the healing from like all the shit that happened last year. You know what I mean? And like the energy of the room just so like, not that there were some, still some angry people and people trying to cause problems, but the energy of the room like noticeably changed when Ken got up there. It was that was probably my favorite.
I told Ken this
to
his face, because don't forget, we were like, it was like a while before that happened. Everyone was like tired. We were so far behind. And then Ken sat down. He was like, should I introduce myself? I was like, no, just go. Just keep it going. We all know you.
The part when he's yelling before he got up there, he was like, he's just like yelling, like, let me up there. He's like, it's clear the fucking body wants me. Stop stalling. Let me get up there and share this fucking meeting. It's like,
right. So what that was in the rules for the state or whatever, that we pick. If the chair doesn't do it, we pick it, right? And so like Jen can't choose who. That was the whole thing, right?
That was the whole point of the motion to suspend the rules. So what we did is, in one motion, we motioned to suspend the rules to declare the chair vacant and nominate Ken Krawchuk to act as chair pro tem for the duration of the convention.
Okay. Right. Which is like that is a hard vote to push through.
It's 2/3.
Yeah, and we did it pretty easily. So comfortably, I might add. So it's
I love the whole like legality argument. They keep trying to, like, they're all thinking they're fucking James Bond. Like, I'm looking to lawyers and like, yeah, but
listen,
so did they.
There's a difference between a primary race and convention, guys. Like, I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Yeah, and it's so funny, and we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's fraud. This was a stolen convention. They did it illegally, and there's no like, maybe we like pissed off these people and the party isn't doing anything really successfully, and these people want to push it in a better direction. Like there's no reflection overall. It's just no, we couldn't be wrong, so it's got to be stolen. So now we're stopping the party.
No, there's a funny meme I saw. It's like it was Principal Skinner from The Simpsons. It was like the Democrat logo over his face, and he's like, pretty much like, do you think they don't like me because like I don't follow through with their votes or anything? And he's like, nah, it's probably alt-right. It's always like something else. It's never just like, there's no self-reflection. There's no humility. There's no egg on my face. Zero. It's always
anything but look at what they failed at. Anything but look at what they failed at, or what they didn't execute properly, or where they could improve, or all of that. No, they are God's gift to the LP, because if we didn't have Auditor Jen, we wouldn't have rights and freedoms in this state. I mean, it's just crazy.
Right. Yeah. It's like I'm opening myself up to every single joke in the world here, but I'll do it. It's like comedy. It's like if you just get, like, if your first year in comedy, if you're just like, dude, I'm so good at comedy, like, you're never gonna ever do good. Like, you have to constantly like be like, oh, I suck. Like, I suck until you're finally like, oh shit, that's a laugh. Like, someone laughed at me. Like, if you in any entertainment thing, like, right, it's just like anything else in life. Like, if you just go in, never looking inward, you're going to constantly uphill battle, dude. And this is what it's going to be for them. It's going to be a fucking uphill battle, because we always look inward, I feel like, with our mistakes. Like, I gave fucking Mike credit before. We both gave Mike credit before about, like, oh, yeah, I fucked up with the thing. It's like, yeah, because that's what we do. We're men. So we're like, yeah, no, we fucked up. We got to, no, all right, we fucked up. That was a bad idea. Let's do it this way next time. But they're like,
and this is why, like, I almost feel like a lot of these people, and I don't like to be the person that gatekeeps, but I just think these people don't understand libertarianism, and they don't understand free markets. Because like what happened this past weekend, that was basically an act of the free market.
Yeah.
Like just to get like down to like the nitty gritty of it. Like the Mises Caucus has been rewarded by the market, by the people who want actual liberty and who want the Libertarian Party to succeed. The Mises Caucus are the ones that are growing the party, that are getting the resources and stuff, because people are realizing that we are better with that power and with those resources than the establishment is. And people who have like wanted, like people like me who wanted to disassociate from the party as much as possible years ago are now like in it so much that it feels creepy. So it's like they have no, like, the fact that they can't recognize this. It's not just like a failing of like their own like self-awareness. I think it's a failing of, I mean, we all know this already, but like it's just one more way that they demonstrate how poorly they understand the philosophy.
Well, the other thing that's funny is that they will not let go of the nomination of Daryl, right? But what they'll never mention is that Mike came out and said, look, I supported this guy, and this is where I didn't do my due diligence here or there. they'll never, point out his explanation or his thoughts or his apology or anything like that. They're just gonna say, "Oh, look, he nominated a sex offender." It's like, come on, guys. And then of course they're gonna say, "Oh, the Mises Caucus did this. This was the Mises Caucus." Like, come on, it's so disingenuous
because they're dishonest, just like with the joke stuff, with like even KCW with her whole thing with when that guy Justin made that joke or when she was on my podcast and like he cut that clip. You guys know what I'm talking about or no?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, she made a joke. She's not a comic, right? She's trying to be funny on a comedian's fucking podcast in the moment, and she just took a fucking stab at a joke, and I don't blame her, right? And he was trying to do what they do, like, oh look, it's fucked up. She's making fucked up joke, and it's like, dude, don't do that. Like, don't be them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do. Like, don't. And like, I get it. It's annoying because it's hypocritical, right? But like, it has to stop. I don't want to sink down to that level, like we do that shit.
What are we gonna do? Sit here and try and cancel each other all day, every day, from side to side?
Like I understand nuance. I understand gray areas. Like everything's so black and white with them. I feel.
Well, and like, well, go ahead, Mike.
One thing I think I probably have a good perspective on this is, people see what's going on right now. They see what just happened in Pennsylvania. They're hearing that we're doing very well in California and all these other places. It's very easy to lose track of the fact that we've lost a lot more than we've won. We got started in 2017. It's fucking 22 now, and this is happening. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we lost two. I mean, we've way improved between the two of them, but we lost two national conventions in a row. That's like a 3-year time period. Like it's only really, I would say, in the past 2 years where things have gone exponential, or I would say a year and a half where things have gone like exponential. And so like we had to have that mentality, because we got our ass kicked. We had to start from scratch. We had to, the whole scope of this thing was not to have, from the beginning, was not to have a pack and we're going to do this like candidate support stuff. And then like, it was just like, we can't let Bill Weld be the candidate. Mm-hmm. That's what this started as. And so we're all just kind of learning as we go along, and we have to take those lumps and admit where we're failing, because this is just a passion project for all of us. This isn't like, and none of us expected it to get to like where it's at now. But yeah, I mean, it's a really important thing to learn from when you fail. And
well, that's what makes you good in the market, is you respond to what works, and like you note what works and you note what doesn't work. And that's what we've done. Right. It's like we've seen what works, and when we see what doesn't work, we course correct.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure going up to the convention, there were frequent texts 6 months prior due to the 180-day rule to make sure that everybody was, registered with the party, credentialed, or whatever. This year, there were a lot more, things in place to make sure that everybody was ready for the convention when the time came. And obviously, this year we improved a lot upon what we had last year, and we were successful in what we set out to do.
Yeah.
For sure. Any final thoughts for anybody before we wrap it up on the whole weekend, or just going forward for the year?
Looking forward to the next convention, and I will try to buy as many people as many shots as I possibly fucking can.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to working with the board to try to put together what I'm trying to. An idea that I'm trying to give them is basically to come up with like a vision board. This is something that they do in Florida, but to come up with like a vision board of like, what are some goals that we would like to hit in the next year, and put it to fucking paper and execute it. So like, I'm looking forward to filling that vision board. I think we don't have any real marketing plan. I mean, Jesus, we've been told for a year and a half now that physical mailers in 22 is some kind of innovation.
Yeah, so annoying.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. We don't utilize data properly. We don't have plans on evaluating candidates so that we can determine where to best invest in candidates. Like there's none of this stuff. And I'm looking forward to
let's go back to the billboards without the website on it.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Are these resources, like, is the infrastructure kind of laid out for all this information to be readily available? Like, okay, well, this county may be this much independent, so maybe a libertarian will have a better chance there. This county's like strictly blue, so okay, you may need to adjust your messaging here. Is that stuff available to us and candidates?
I'm not sure what all they have on the CRM system, but again, it all, to me, it all boils down to, regardless of what they do have. Let's say they do have all that stuff, they sure as fuck ain't properly utilizing it because there's no unified strategy. You know, like what we do with our onboarding meetings, and like we call people and we form relationships and we bring them in, and it's an extremely transparent process. And there is none of that. We are the only ones doing it. And this is why we want to, quote unquote, take over, because we know that what we're doing is already working and we want to scale it up through the party, you know, like, and we want to give the party these tools and these strategies and all this stuff, you know, like.
And it wouldn't have required a takeover if people had just saw like, oh, hey, the Mises Caucus has good ideas. And they would have just invited us to be like, hey, we like your ideas. Help us implement them. But no, it's been 2 years of fucking like, no, you guys are fucking Nazis, and no, you guys are gonna wreck the party, and look at all the success that you're trying to destroy. It's like, that's why the takeover was necessary, because these people were delusional, and they you know, we've done, yeah, we've done what
Angela is gonna have a budget for this. Like, there's gonna be an LNC line item for therapy.
Oh yeah, they took that one to the bank. I saw that.
keep therapists on retainer.
We'll be the case study. We'll be the next clinical study for psychedelic therapy.
We don't even need that. Yeah, what we just need is like a mandatory like 12-week program where you do psychedelics while reading Jordan Peterson. That's all these people need.
My room has never been so clean.
You gotta do ayahuasca in the woods and listen to Tom Woods speak to you. that's how you need to cleanse yourself that way.
But that was my long-winded answer. I'm looking forward to trying to develop some solid programs to fill that vision board, have a marketing plan, have a candidate investment metric, you know, like just things like that.
Well, to build on that real quick, I do believe that we probably have the strongest Libertarian Party faction in the entire country. And I'm very, very excited to see that move forward, because there have been plenty of paleo guys that kind of hammer at the Mises Caucus of the Libertarian Party. But I really do think they're just ignorant to the amazing people that have been elected in the last year and the amazing people that we have at work in the party in this state. So I'm very, very excited to see where the party goes in this coming year with the great people that we elected at the convention.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for the first board meeting that doesn't last more than 4 hours.
Hey, I don't know whose dick I gotta suck to not have it on a Saturday, but I will do it. Okay, I'll do it because it's crazy. It cannot be Saturday anymore. Move it to a Tuesday night or something. Like, what are we doing? Does no one have lives or fun or like what the fuck?
This was their life, Adam. This was their little incestual social club. Like,
one of the guys had a pirate party flyer, I think it was. He said, join the fastest growing political party, the pirate. I'm not kidding you. The one, I can't remember the guy's name. It wasn't Drew. It was some other guy. He was handing out flyers for the pirate party.
Oh, Drew Bingaman.
It was one of those. It was one of those flyers where the ominous note written to me was on one of those flyers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do we know who wrote that or no? This is.
I don't, but if I had to put money on it, I mean, I don't have any evidence, so this is pure speculation. But I mean, that just seems like something Waldenberger would do.
It looked like feminine handwriting.
It seems like something Waldenberger.
No, I know.
At least
for double down.
hey, at least Waldenberger stuck it out longer than Ed Regan did. Ed Regan left like really early on.
I saw him for a second and a half. Like,
I saw him. Sacha Cohen was there at one point. He asked a question. Aaron Ryan Smith was there, and I believe most of those people were gone like before lunchtime on Saturday.
Way to trick your friends.
Yeah, right. I never physically saw Sasha ever, but I had a I know you told me you.
I got it
that
for
was
you.
actually a very funny moment in the elevator. Heise is fucking hammered and high. He's like everything. He just looks at me. He's like, I'm like, what's up, dude? He's like, I told Sacha Cohen to go fuck himself.
Dude, we gave money to that guy. Like we gave and he was a hater back then, and we still gave him money. It's
and that's why.
But we don't care about candidates though.
Yeah.
And that was my point in telling him to go fuck himself, is because of the fact that we gave him money, he knows that we fucking care about candidates and we want to do what we can. And therefore he knows that he's fucking lying.
He's so petty that when I brought that up to him in the Thunderdome chat, he said, if I have to, I will get a second job and I will pay every penny of that donation back. And I was like, that is the pettiest. That is the
we need
pettiest,
that for Reno.
Right? Yeah, I think that's the pettiest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I told you guys I had a one-on-one with Aaron Ryan Smith outside the hotel bar, and we had a good conversation. Not gonna lie, like he wasn't a dick. We had a really nice conversation. I had a good conversation with Luke
he's
Moyer.
One of the ones that bitched out when I joined the media relations committee. Yeah. He was like, I can't be on the same committee as Jacob Winograd. He's a fucking Nazi and pedo apologist.
So
you are, but
yeah. To speak to Aaron Ryan Smith, last year at the convention, to his credit, he went out of his way. He kept telling me, hey, man, I'm going to get you credentialed. We're going to get everything set up, And I spent he's in my county, so I saw him a couple of times at meetings. And him and his wife had always got along very, very well. I mean, we were cool. And then I made a joke about autistic libertarians, of course, in the Thunderdome chat. And then all of a sudden I'm a racist piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
And now it's all over. And all you Mises guys are the exact same. So at that point, I'm like, you know what, dude? Fuck you. Like if that's the way it's going to be, go fuck yourself. I don't want to talk to you.
Which, again, that's why it was weird, because that was not at all his engagement with me.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to, is that he'll never be that way to your face. And that's shitty. If I have a problem with you over Facebook or Twitter, you're going to hear about it if we got, face-to-face problems. But I'm not going to go out of my way to fucking give you shit. Like, if we're cool in person, don't get that way with me over text. Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
And what's fucking bullshit, and like I was kind of alluding to this earlier before you came on, Mike, but it's like, I'm not a toe the caucus no matter what kind of guy. Like, there's been some fucking times where like we've had you call me up and you're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, or whatever, and like we have to talk shit out. And I remember over the past like year and a half, like I kept on like optimistically or naively, however you wanted to put it, I was like, come on, we can make this work with these guys. We don't have to be fighting with them. And I would, like put my hand out, get slapped away. Put my hand out, get slapped away. Join a committee, everyone rage quits. Join another committee, oh, people are fucking doxing me and calling CPS on Bonnie. It's like, it's just like, you can't make this shit up. Like, you cannot literally make up the fucking shit that's happened over
Joel
the past
has a real
year.
question. He says to Mike, Adam, and Jacob, have I ever treated you differently in person versus online? Serious question. No, not me personally.
You didn't flirt with me in person the way you do.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah,
but other than that,
fuck each other. But other than that, yeah. So no, you're a liar.
I mean, yes, over time.
Yeah. That's fair.
Dude, bring up Constantine's comment, because that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, Mike brought, so when I became chair of your county, Mike came out and brought a book of Economics in One Lesson by Henry Hazlitt. And literally, like, other than the Mises people, there was like half of the people who weren't Mises were just like, oh, what the fuck's that? Oh, I don't read economic books. I was just like,
you probably should.
Well, it was Jeff Deist who said, if you check a libertarian's economics and if they're off on it, they're probably not good on any other issue as well. And honestly, that seems to be pretty spot on.
Yeah, he usually is.
Joel's is fair for Mike, but now I feel we're straight.
You can go from feel to no, bro.
There you go. And then funny if you were like, nah, I still hate you. Oh man, yeah. I mean, it was a fun weekend though. I'll say that. I mean, opening up for the Dave Tom thing was cool.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Meeting Tom Woods was really cool.
Yeah,
I feel kind of bad because I did call Tom short, and then after that, I'm like, man, why did I do that?
I said it behind his back on this podcast. I didn't say it to his face.
Dude, I was fucking mad at myself. So I met Dave last year, and I kept my cool. You know what I mean? I met Tom. And I was just like fucking like, oh, Tom, I love you so, like just like could not get a full fucking sentence out.
Yeah,
just, like sitting there, fangirling and shit. It was just like,
I'll say this, man. The wake Dave and like especially Dave, but Tom too brings around them, like when they're like just like chilling. Like it's crazy how many people just like flock to them. It's wild. There's only like hear him talk. It's crazy. Like
Yeah,
it's so interesting.
when I talked to both of them, I really didn't want to be like that guy that's like sucking their dicks. So I just tried to say like, hey, nice to meet you guys. Really appreciate the work, and kind of let them be. I don't want to be one of those dudes like I said, riding their dick the entire night. It's just
it's I had to fight through a bunch of fucking autistic nerds to get to him to ask him how to bring him up on stage. Like push their get out of the way. All right, guys. Again,
Tom Woods has a penis.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. He mentioned that is now objectively true because he said so.
Tom seen me do stand-up twice, and I've got him to say penis now, so I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm awesome.
It wasn't the 5 daughters that proved it. It was him saying that he has one that proved it.
Yeah. I got
the daughters are a social construct.
Dude.
Yep.
Dude, I think I'm starting to become known as the comic who makes all the serious libertarians just fucking laugh at dick jokes. Fucking Dice Woods, everybody's getting dick jokes.
We got an ass for every seat.
All right, guys. Again, if any final thoughts before we get out of here, because I got time. So if you got time to kill, I'll sit here and bullshit.
No, man, I will be down in Florida in about 16 hours, so I'm pretty stoked. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Oh, fuck you. Enjoy it.
I will.
So mad.
38 degrees down there tomorrow. I can't fucking believe it.
Where are you going?
Sarasota Beach.
Is that not hot?
No, well, like in the morning it's like 80 degrees and it's at like 92% chance of rain, and then it's at like 38 degrees during night. I'm like, man, that's like not even Florida. It's like warmer up here, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, that sucks. I hate this weather. I hate the Northeast. It's the fucking worst place.
It is.
It really is. All right, Kyle, Jacob, Michael, thank you so much for joining me for this LPPA recap convention weekend. Hopefully this year goes good. I'm sure we'll have a good XCOM, I feel. So I'm stoked. And hopefully we see where this thing goes. Only good places, I feel. Don't get off yet so we can say goodbye off air to each other. But to everybody else, see you fucks later. See you next week. Peace.
Thanks for listening. Find Adam on social media, Twitter and IG at Adam Nutter, or Facebook and TikTok at Adam Nutter Comedy. And for podcasts and merch, check out www.droptent.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
This has been a Drop Tent Media Production.